Oh man, I'm recording. Yo guys, what is up? So, I'm sorry for the lack of videos very recently. I'm sure you've realised I haven't uploaded in about 3 or 4 weeks. I'm sorry about that. Sometimes life does get in the way. But, not to worry, so I'm sure you can tell by the title of this video what we're going to be talking about today. So, I've been sitting thinking, if I could only have one upgrade for my Evo, what would it be? And there's a lot of upgrades. So, I have kind of looked at all of the things people complain about, because there are little niggly things that realistically could be changed and improved by ASG, but there are aftermarket parts there to kind of remedy that. The most useful part that I think you can change on the ASG Evo is going to be the hop-up wheel. So it's not really a wheel. I'm sure any Evo owners will know that really changing that thing is just a hassle. And lately with me kind of swapping between different BBs and trying different things, you know, trying to adjust that mid-game, especially if you got gloves on, is just way too much sometimes. So I got speaking to Andy from Scorpion Skins, and Andy kind of co-promotes the Airtech Studios brand, as well as Airtech Studios kind of promoting their Scorpion Skins brand. So he was kind enough to send me one of the hop-up wheels. I've been meaning to get one for ages, and I just haven't got around to it. So he was very, very kind and sent me one to try out, which is awesome. I do have the Airtech Studios stabilizer for the stock, which honestly is such a nice quality of life modification, and it's such a cheap product. I think it's like £10 I paid for it. But just that kind of wiggle in the stock just kind of takes away from that realism for me. So like getting that Evo just 100% perfect. If you're an Evo owner, you're all about getting the perfect rifle. So because there's so many people out there have done so many modifications, especially with aftermarket parts and things like that. So it's a big deal for us. So that's awesome. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take you down, and what I'm going to do is just literally record me installing it from scratch, no problems. I hope I've never opened up my Evo before myself, so hopefully opening up that hop unit and changing the wheel on it is going to be easy. We're going to have a look at the instructions and see how that goes. Alright, I'll see you guys then there. Okay guys, here we are. Right, apologies, I'm going to do this on the floor because there's much more space to work with here. So here we have it, the little hop-up wheel adjustment that Andy has sent me. So it's still in the packaging, unopened, as you can see. We'll crack this bad boy open, and hopefully we'll have some instructions in there on how to install this thing. Alright, so here we have it, that little hop-up wheel adjuster. Set that there. And probably the main part. Which is this little leaflet that comes with it. Okay. So this is the little thing that you get with it. So as you can see, there's a QR code there which we're going to scan, and we are going to follow the instructions that is on the website. Alright, so let's get a realistic view of this. Let's see if we can find the web page for the installation of this. Like I said, guys, I'm just taking you through this in the moment, so as you guys know exactly how this is all done, how long it roughly is going to take, start to finish. So there's the little hop-up adjuster. Just click the PDF file. Step-by-step installation guide. Okay. So looks like I'm going to need a tiny as hell Allen key. Gotta remove that, install that. You know what? They actually make it seem like it's going to be super easy. I really hope it is. So let me get my stuff, and we'll get started on this. Okay, so as you can see, I now have this little Evo pistol doofer. This is it kind of completely stripped down just to make things a little bit easier. So what else I've got is a little set of Allen keys. So hopefully going to use these to take this all apart and not completely destroy it. Alright. So first of all, just going to take out some of these screws. Alright, I was just kind of wondering, you know, if I remove those two, could I take the outer barrel out? But I can't, so I'm going to have to take this whole thing apart. God damn it. God damn it. Alright, in case you guys are wondering, this is the real steel Scorpion Evo sights that you'll find from CZ USA. I had to order these in from America from an eBay seller who was very, very helpful to me, because it was an absolute nightmare getting hold of these. So, last screw in here, hopefully. Okay, so I think that's all the screws out now. Let's see if we can take this thing apart. Where is this even going to work? Okay, so it looks like I'm just going to pop this apart. Oh, there's a pin there, which I'm assuming there's a little pin there as well. You can see that comes out. I'm assuming then that this will all just come apart. There we go, that's one side of it off. This little window and the spring that goes with it. And here we have this part on our hop-up window kind of outer barrel mix. So I'm just going to pull this right through and we have it out. Okay. So now that we have the barrel out, now we can follow the instructions online to change this. Okay. First thing to do is to change the protruding part to skywards, apparently. So if you have a look, that little thing that's moving there, that has to be pushed right up into the sky. Next thing to do is there's a little pin there you can see. We have to push that through, which hopefully should drop out the whole freaking arm of it. So, here we go. Push that through. And here, click. Let's say come on the other side. Just make sure nothing explodes in my general direction. Okay. Nothing really has exploded out so far. You guys can see. This thing will focus. Okay, yeah. Everything's kind of still intact in there at the moment. So we got this little pin here that's come out. Next step is removing the hop-up arm using the screwdriver. So what I have to do is put this under here, under the hop-up arm, and push up, which very easily has released that kind of spring there. There you go, that's a little part on the ground. And now we have this. Okay, and then this we just kind of twist, apparently, until it reaches a point where it can pull out, which, there you go. Sorry if you guys missed that. So it's at the 90-degree angle. If we rotate it to the right here, let's pull it out. That's it out. Ta-da! Okay, now we insert the red adjuster knob. So guys, don't really often say this, but just put your knob in here. I'll adjust it towards the sky, I'd imagine. So that's the hop-up wheel in there with the adjuster to the sky. Now we're going to want to put the little arm back in. So just pop that in with your spring in there. Make sure the spring is against the wall. Get your little pin. And that's in. So you've got the hop-up arm inside. You just need to put this little pin back inside there. So we got the little pin sitting right there. We just need to push this down. That's the whole way in. So we have now is a little hop-up wheel that will adjust with the hop-up arm in there. Jobs are good. And that is it installed, so all it's left to do is put the Evo back together. Oh my god. So, I'll start by putting this back in here. Man, it's just the look of all these old screws and everything everywhere. It's just, oh god, I'm just not looking forward to this. So, put this in, it kind of clips into place there. We've also got this little cover, which, to be honest, I'm going to take the time just to kind of like, I'm just going to press this out a little bit, because if you know that this thing can get caught on the ASG Evo batteries that they recommend, so I'm just going to a little boop, 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 boop. Stretch it out a little bit. So, put that in, and then you're going to have to put your spring in behind there, kind of awkwardly, so just make sure that's okay. And then we're going to put this back together. Alright. So get this back on. Not as awkward as shit. Okay, I gotta put this little metal window back in. Then I just need to grab my spring for the little window. Okay. That's all put in there. I'm just going to put this cover back on. So, that's it all kind of put back together. Now we just have to reassemble the screws. First of all, I'm going to start by putting this little pin back in. This little one that we took out on the last part. So that's that back in. That kind of retains it all. And now we just put screws all back in. Hoo-wee! Oh man, this is a lot of screws. Guys, if you're wondering why my arms are like coming from every direction, it's just that this is awkward as shit. Oh my god. Oh, metal grip is magnetic. This is super awkward to record with a camera like in my face while I'm actually trying to like work at this, so apologies that this just looks awkward as hell. I mean, it is awkward as hell. But it looks way more awkward probably for you guys. I mean, guys, this wasn't really as bad as I thought it would be. Taking that thing apart was generally quite easy. Alright, I'll tighten up a little bit more. Guys, the last thing you want to be doing is losing some of these screws, so just make sure. They are pretty tight. You can actually get replacement screws for these on ukfob.co.uk, so if you do happen to be taking it apart and lose any, they are official ASG replacement parts, so just in case. Nice and tight. Alright, so now if we pull this back, we've got a little hop-up wheel there. It's so much easier to adjust. It's like, because it's got a wider kind of base to it, it's just easier to rotate. And there is what we're left with, our kind of our original one there. It's just plastic as well. But there you go. It's as simple as that, guys. Alright guys, so as you can tell, it wasn't too difficult. I mean, it took me probably the guts of, let's say, from start to finish about half an hour to get that thing apart, get it all taken apart, get the hop-up unit, take it apart, and put that back in. So, ultimately, not a hard task. And to be honest with you, in terms of quality of life improvements for the Evo, that's probably the biggest one. That little hop-up wheel that they have installed at the start, that thing is just too small. Anyone who's ran one will know trying to, you know, change your hop-up on the fly kind of in the middle of, you know, having a firefight with someone in Airsoft is really, really difficult. So if you can just change that super, super easy, that is probably one of the biggest quality of life improvements for the Evo that I think you could install. So, yep, for me, that is the #1 adjustment that I would make to the Evo. I know a lot of people would say about like gears and things like that there. I've had that gun totally stock for about just over, let's say, almost a year and a half now. And it's going pretty smooth. I haven't changed the gears or anything on it. It's just been running completely stock. The only thing that's been changed internally, I suppose, would be the trigger, which is the short stroke trigger that I have on mine. But that makes no real improvements. It just looks cool, and it's got a shorter travel slightly. I mean, I personally would consider that to be one of the necessary improvements. So for quality of life, hop-up wheel by Airtech Studios, 100%. So if you guys have any questions at all, leave it down in the comments below. And again, guys, the Evo itself is such a good AEG out of the box, so it's not like it needs this improvement, but if there was one slight change I would make to it, it would be, you know, putting in that hop-up wheel that comes from Airtech Studios. Tons of other aftermarket parts. You've got the likes of the Yeti Works mag release, which I have installed. That would be a close second for me, because it makes mag changes that little bit easier. Not to say they're difficult with the standard, you know, mag release from the Evo, but it just makes it that little bit easier. Plus, it looks cool. So, guys, keep an eye out for the next video. Got a good amount of stuff coming up here. I've got some gameplays I need to edit up, so keep an eye out for those as well. And as always, big thank you to our sponsor, ukfob.co.uk. Hopefully in the future we'll start to see some things like this being stocked and a lot more Evo products. You know, Paul is doing a lot for the Evo community, and there's a lot of people buying Evos and Evo parts and things and accessories from him. So he's doing good for that. So hopefully you start to see stuff like this on his website. If you do, my discount code RS5 should still be good. So just go on there, use discount code RS5. That gets you 5% off anything in store. Don't forget to use that. Guys, thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one.